Because for this world, can enter through 3 different ways. Liquid mirrors, doors, and no clipping. It does have some backroom vibes. Okay, habitats. Common grounds. Is there a better name for that? Hold on. Waterways. This area has like a lot of pipes. So, I heard something of the mask like pop. That scared me. They're meant to be basic. More set name, because later on both the entities and the other residents here, they have a lot of different names because there's no real set language here, so a bunch of people just like throw shit in. And I don't want it to be like that for everything in here. So that's why I'm trying to at least get some solid names for the areas. The mimicked residence is that I cannot speak today. Mimicked residence is one of my favorite. Mimicked residence because, you know, it mimics residence. It's basically more like the back rooms, as in it's a bunch of liminal spaces that feel familiar because it draws from your memory, but you're not really there. So I thought I'd rail up a little bit of like ambience to be creepy. Really creepy. But it's actually quite peaceful. Like it says Rail Hub, there are railroads. Railroads. So there's railroads but there's no trains. There's never any trains. Very dark oil, brown color. That's a golden trim. A red velvet. Small golden frame. Other habitats. Wild. Other habitats. The matter the distance. It's still being. It's still being wet. Traveling easier. Outsiders to settle in and build small yet functional camps and communities. Zen Zone is also like one of my. It's called Zen Zone because it's pretty relaxing. Areas it like replicates are usually outdoors or like indoor parks. It's the safest habitat that is known to them. Outdoor, more rural areas too. There's a lot more like open space and trees. I'm gonna add like nature reserve trails. Because why not? That might be fun. Imagine like walking past the sign, the outdoor parks will have like plenty of space. But sometimes a few trees for like the outdoor parks, because usually in outdoor parks you have like the park and a good amount of like space, but you always have like a restroom area nearby. Usually, right? Is that with the outside, like outside type of appearances, you're not actually outside. The screens are all like, it's all like painted on walls or LED screen walls. that have like cartoon clouds floating by and the sun that moves, but it doesn't set. It just goes from like one end and then pop right to the other. It's usually like a condensed forest. And then there's just like a path cleared out. The indoor park areas, most of them tend to be like that little park area you see in malls. But every now and then there'll be like, oh, just a whole entire space dedicated to just the area. Tends to spawn like a few, some items. It's usually like food, packaged food, and snacks and water bottles are found here because it is a park. So think of like, kind of like a picnic, little med kit, or I said med kit like it's a fucking video. Little first aid kits or band-aids. Echo Cavern. Echo Cavern is fun, despite like having a scary name. It's not really that bad. It's lower than other habitats. It's like the underground. And there'd be like a tunnel that connects it like that. But I actually think it'd be more like a sinkhole. Like in a part of the other habitat, you see like the floor is cracked open and you look down and it's like a slide. Easy to slide down, but not very easy to go back up. So they're like kind of oval-shaped rooms, or oval-shaped like caves that connect to one another through just like when you clip two objects into one another, and the area that they connect in, if you delete that, it's kind of like that. I only went to like a waterfall, like a really big waterfall. And as we got closer, like water was starting to drip from the rock. So I imagine that's kind of what the mineral water from here looks like. It's because of one of the creatures that lives in it. It likes to mimic things it's heard, which sometimes is voices. Otherwise, communities have formed in the other habitats. They treat this one as like a burial site to its non-hostile entity and structure. Yeah. Ventilation. It is kind of exactly what it says. These different habitats and areas connect. One of them is, through doors. Two is open hallways. But I like to think there's also vents around the place. Crawl through them, of course, but if you're in a tight situation, you could go through a vent real quickly. Sanctuaries. These are the most unique ones that I've made because all of these like rooms and habitats, they flow, they connect together in a pretty seamless way. The sanctuaries, they are very man-made, but they've been there just as long as all the other habitats. So it's a habitat that naturally occurs, but is man-made looking. Sanctuaries are the safest. There's no entities. There's nothing in there, but there tends to be a lot of supplies. The doors are heavy metal. And they even have sometimes a mode of communication because computers. How they work, I don't really fucking know. Have to have a medical bay or storage bay because it's named Black Death because it's fucking pitch black at night. Because Black Death is considered so dangerous and like little's known about it, that there's a saying that has been going around for most outsiders to do not go, that it's like, do not go into Black Death, no matter what you see, what you hear, or what you hope. Because there is something of like a kind of like copycat that is in there. I don't know whether I want it to be like an actual entity or like more of an illusion yet. But people, like, because it's so dark, they'll like briefly catch glimpses of somebody they know or hear somebody they know calling to them like, come here, come here. So it's like, no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter what you hope. Because it might also like mimic dead people. So that might also get like emotionally vulnerable people to try to follow it too. I might recon that, but for right now I'm keeping that in.